What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. As you can tell by the title, so we're seemingly going to be getting some price increases on Hasbro Pulse in the next couple days on May 9th at the time of this recording. And I forget who posted this. This was like a month ago when all this stuff first started going down, but it started resurfacing again yesterday and the day before because of the news that we got on the Hasbro Pulse website that I covered in a separate video, which, by the way, if you haven't seen that, it is on the channel. But somebody posted this on TFW. It would be presumably the new prices that we could be getting on May 9th on Hasbro Pulse for Deluxes, Voyagers, Leader Class, Commander, and Titan. So I'm going to go through this list and give you all my thoughts on everything as always. So first up here for Deluxe, old price was $24.99 and the new price could be $27.99. For Voyager class, the price we have right now is $34.99 and the price we could have is $39.19 or $39.99. For Leader class, what we have now is $54.99. And what we could have is $61.59 or probably $61.99. And then for Commander class, what we have currently is $89.99. And then what it could be May 9th is $100.79 or maybe, I don't know, maybe $199 or $99.99. I'm going to be saying a lot of 99s here in this video, I guess. But lastly, Titan class, $149.99 is the current price. And what we could have May 9th is $167.99. So it's a 12% increase on the prices due to the tariffs and everything. And I've seen people commenting, oh, it's not because of the tariffs. They were going to raise these prices anyway. I don't really, that just seems like coping to me because they're raising the prices accordingly to the tariffs. So I'm not really understanding the mental gymnastics you're trying to make here for an orange man, but hey, that's just my opinion, I guess, even though it's probably basically facts at this point. But the prices here, they're not as bad as I originally thought. Like, there's some other calculations that have been going around that for deluxes it could be like $40, leader class could be like 70 or something. So I'm not really sure how it's gonna go. But if it's something along the lines of this, where they're increasing stuff by, $5-10 or something, that's not awful, but it is something you got to think about. Like, that stuff does add up over time, especially if you're somebody who buys most of what Hasbro makes and puts out every year. That's going to add up for the price increases. That's going to be an extra couple $100 right there every year for you if you buy most of what Hasbro puts out. Now, for me personally, I just really get what I want. Like, I could probably count on my two hands the amount of new Hasbro Transformers that I buy every year the last couple of years. But, for somebody that's not like that, this is pretty bad. And sure, it's a case of, well, it's not that big of a deal, blah, 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 the typical stuff that these people like to throw around there to sound like morally above you or somebody that's more adultish than you or whatever word you want to put on there for that. But it's a coping mechanism for people out here. It's an actual industry, so there's jobs on the line if these price increases ruin the sales and ruin the franchises that are being made toys of here. So yeah, I mean, there's people's jobs. This is an industry for people who want to consume things that help with their lives, whether it's mentally or whatever. So it's not something that really doesn't matter. It's a part of what helps this weird little world that we have go around every day. But, that's just my outlook on things. There's still going to be people in the comments of this video probably saying, there's better things to worry about, food, blah, 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 which is true, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's not to say that this stuff doesn't matter either. It's just It's just what matters more in life, you know? I don't know. These prices aren't terrible. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm not paying over $30 for a modern day deluxe class that barely reaches 5 inches for the most part. So yeah, I'm probably, at this point, I'm mostly getting like figures that I've wanted when I was a little kid back in the 2000s and the early 2010s. And I'm probably going to be moving towards certain higher end Transformers figures, whether that's third party or masterpiece. Now, I know that's a lot more pricey than mainline stuff, even with these price increases. But, I'm just getting to that age now where the regular mainline Hasbro stuff really isn't hitting that collectible high end itch for me with certain stuff, unless if it's like an older figure that's still really good to this day, or a figure that I've wanted since I was a little kid that I can now get now that I'm older and I make my own money. Just stuff like that. It's kind of that in between for me right now. I've been looking at getting some Masterpiece Beast Wars figures and selling off my Hasbro ones. I've been looking into getting the Fans Hobby Energon Optimus. Getting more of the third-party movie Masterpiece figures or just Hasbro Masterpiece figures in general. But, if you're patient enough and you know where to look, you could find this stuff for actually really good prices. So I'm not really tripping on that. That's just kind of where I'm at with my headspace. And especially as this stuff gets more expensive, at this point, it's like you might as well just go for third party or higher end stuff. Now that, it is going to affect the tariffs a little bit. Depending on where you buy, it could be a lot, like AliExpress or something. But, it's just a crazy time to be a collector at this point. This whole situation is just absolutely ridiculous to me. But yeah, these prices were going to go up anyway, whether Trump did the tariffs or not. Yeah, AliExpress was going to charge an extra $90 for a $60 KO Masterpiece figure, regardless of the tariff war. Yeah, totally. You guys are making the absolute most sense right now. Yeah, that's something that's really pissing me off right now. Like, yo, I was gonna go in on the third party movie Masterpiece figures this month, and then I go on AliExpress to buy them. And if I wanted if I like bought all the ones that I wanted to get this month, it would be like, I'm no mathematician here. I don't know the exact cost because I just added the KO Masterpiece Barricade to my cart and I saw an extra $90 charge because of the tariffs. And I was like, hell no, I took that out of my cart and I just exited off my laptop and I went to go do something. Like, I didn't even play around with anything else. But if I added like another 5 to 7 third-party Masterpiece figures on there, that would be like, now I'm assuming, do they charge like separately for each figure? I think they do. And if that's the case, that's like an extra $700 added on to what you would already be spending, which would be like $700 right there, depending on the cost of the 7 Masterpiece figures. So that's absolutely insane, guys. That's really pissing me off. Like, there's figures I really want to get, add to my collection, and mess around with, take some time out of my day, and get my mind off certain things. And they're so expensive now because of this stuff. And it's absolutely annoying. Like, either this stuff is going to get resolved or it's just going to stay here for however many years until something gives. I just don't know what's going to go on at this point. It's really annoying. But yeah, guys, I don't want to ramble on too much longer. Fact of the matter is, this could be the prices that we're going to be seeing on Hasbro Pulse updated on May 9th. Let me know down in the comments below, how do y'all feel about these new potential prices? And yeah, thank y'all for watching this video. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye!